Hello, everybody. It is I, your host, Friendly Neighborhood INFP, and yes, we are in the new place. I'm still fixing it up. Don't worry about that. I need to get some shelves in the back. But anyways, today we are going to be talking about the ESFP and what they're generally like. And, ESFPs are typically fast-paced, hedonistic. Well, if they're unhealthy, they can be hedonistic or generally hedonistic. They tend to enjoy life, is what I'm trying to say, which can bleed over into hedonistic tendencies on a more negative level. ESFPs tend to want things fast, want things now, and they want to feel good. Typically on most days, if not all days. ESFPs are perhaps one of the most energetic MBTI types out there, rivaling the energy of an ENFP, which some would say doesn't have all that much energy. But then again, on some other aspects, ENFPs do have quite a bit of energy. So it really depends on the ENFP you're looking for. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the ESFP. And I should really not try and talk as fast as an ESFP might, because that's not my style. Or is it my style? I don't really know. Anyways, maybe I've just had too much sugar. Anyways, ESFPs are typically extraordinarily friendly. They enjoy meeting new people. They enjoy being out in life. They enjoy being active. They enjoy moving. They do not enjoy being confined into one spot for too long, which is probably why the current situation, or being trapped in anywhere, shape, or form, could probably drive them a little batty. They are also very loyal to their friends and typically have a kind of positive outlook of life, although I'm pretty sure there might be some who have a negative outlook of life. It really depends on the person, really depends on how they've been brought up. But anyways, they have this zest for life, zest for adventure, zest for helping their friends, zest for, just being who they are. And, because of their secondary function and because of their first function, C5, this is what allows them to want things to feel good and why they can become hedonistic, as I mentioned before. And this is also what can cause them to become very impatient with certain things and want to quickly go on to many different things at the speed of a cheetah. And, their patience with certain things could probably go something like, I want it now. I want it now. Give me everything you've got and we'll go and have fun together type of deal. They typically want to uplift their friends. They want to make sure their friends are having a good time. And this also brings about, because of their zest for life typically, not all the time, just prefacing that, not all the time, they do enjoy entertaining. They do enjoy going out and having fun. And that is why a lot of ESFPs do tend to become actors, singers, performers, stuntmen, whatever, they feel that they can do that, there's some fun to be had. This is also where you get a lot of party tropes and, of course, how you doing? You know who that is. So, classic example of an ESFP right there with Joey. And they are a fun bunch of people to be with if you can handle their energetic type of energy that can rival the Energizer Bunny. That just keeps...
The Energizer. They keep going and going.
Stop the bunny, please.
And going.
Doing that. Furthermore, they, going beyond that, they can be wonderful artists, although... You won't see a lot of them in the artist field. I mean, you will see them there, but their artistry reveals more around action, their hands. I would perhaps see an ESFP be more towards something like sculpting, crafting clay pots, doing something with their hands that doesn't revolve them sitting still in one spot for hours at end, because that can drive them nuts unless there is something to gain from that. Like, unless they're having some kind of enjoyment, some kind of fulfillment, some kind of something from sitting down in one location for hours on end, they're probably not going to do it if they find it boring. So, with that being said, ESFPs are also very, while some might call them, shall we say, fickle. There is not that they're fickle, it's just that their attention span or attention will go to various things and they'll want to try those things. And because of their secondary nature, they may not realize that they're excluding others from doing the thing that which they want to do, which could be a great number of things. If you don't want to go jump out of an airplane, well, that's fine. I'll just go and do it by myself. Oh, you don't want to go and dive over this bridge and go bungee jumping, that's fine. I'll go and do it with myself. Heck, maybe I'll even kidnap an ESTP while I'm at it. Whatever's fun. And it's not that they're always circulating around that which is fun. It's whatever feels good to them and their phi nature as well, which like bleeds over into their C, which is why they can appear to be all that, if you're trying to understand what I'm getting at. Beyond that, on like a more serious note, ESFPs do care about their friends and will typically go out of their way to try and cheer up their friends. As I stated before, they will try and do some sort of obligation that they see. If they see somebody's not having a good time, even if that person is not their friend, they will go and try and cheer that person up. If they see that, all their attempts are not succeeding, they will likely stop after a while, but they'll feel a little disappointed that they couldn't do anything about it. They have a acute understanding for aesthetics as well. A lot of ESFPs make great interior designers. That's another thing of working with your hands, working with your eyes, going into a space, looking around and going, yeah, so this place needs this, and then boom, all of a sudden it's decorated with a bunch of wonderful things. Speaking of which, I could really use an ESFP helping me out with my room, but I digress. So interior designers, you'll see ESFPs there, almost as much as you might see, say, ESFJs or ISFJs or ENFPs. Within that field, typically you'll see a whole kind of the field, but that is one of the areas where they will come. Fashion, they can also be very fashionable and appear in the fashion scene. They have a sense for what looks good on them, and not only what looks good on them, what looks good on other people. And because they're not super serious like some of the other types out there, they have this they try and make it enjoyable for the people. Like, yes, things need to get done, but they're also going to try and make it so it's not as horrible as possible or as boring as possible. They typically want people to have a good time, almost as much as they're having a good time, provided that they are in a healthy spot and have been, brought up in a healthy environment. But even then, they will see this way of, like, I've seen a lot of ESFP actors and comedians and designers who, when like reading about their stories, they'll talk about how their childhood wasn't that great, and so they would be the entertainer that would make their family laugh because they wanted to see their family smile. They wanted to see their friends smile, so they would go out of their way to make them smile. Now, I know there are a bunch of ENFPs who have also done much the same thing, and there's like an overlap here, but ESFPs typically want to make sure people are having a good time in some way, shape, or form, and they typically want to pursue something that they themselves will consider to be a good time, and at some point they will also want to try and understand themselves, but not to like maybe a higher level, but in a sense of, okay, well, I need to slow down and just try and like, what's going on here? Like, try and figure stuff out the way, people usually do when they mature. And one of the last things about the ESFP is that a lot of people shall I say, like many feelers, what's the word I'm looking for? They underestimate their intelligence. ESFPs can be extraordinarily intelligent, which is why people underestimate them, because they're full of energy, because they have a zest for life. People can and very much do underestimate their intelligence in some areas, especially since there's like a bias going on between thinkers and feelers, that they don't understand that every function has a thinking side and that every function can be a thinker. And it's also why ESFPs, you'll see a lot of them, they'll see like kind of what works, and they'll want to go at it. They want things in a certain speed for themselves, not necessarily for others, although they might get a little irritated that others aren't moving as fast as them, because they might be moving in the world of, say, Sonic. But they are very loyal friends once you get them. Even though they may seem fickle at times, they'll always, if they're your true friend, they'll always come back to you, and they'll try and figure out at some point what you like so that they can include you in it. Because at the end of the day, the SFP truly does want to include people in the things that they're doing. They enjoy including things in the things that they're doing, and they feel a little depressed when they can't include their friends and family and whoever else they may want into that thing. And because of their intelligence and because of their observation of people and understanding of people to a level which most people may not understand, ESFPs are able to hone in to people's emotions quite quickly and be able to use that in order to make people smile, in order to make people laugh, in order to make people feel better. And they're very much a encouraging type of personality. So, with that being said, that has been the general overview of the ESFP. I will, like I said, with the other types, once I finish this, probably, maybe, likely will go into more detailed topics. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.